The story is set in a world where a toxic virus has turned nearly all humans into zombies. These aren't ordinary zombies. They're incredibly fast, capable of catching a moving airplane. Some are so clever they can outthink humans, and a few possess the power to track their targets by scent from miles away. In this perilous world, only 2 humans remain. Will they survive? The story begins with a young boy watching cartoons on TV. Suddenly, the signal cuts out, and an emergency report flashes on the screen, wiping the smile from his face. The news reveals that a highly toxic virus is spreading globally, turning the infected into terrifying, zombie-like creatures within minutes. The virus is spreading rapidly, and the entire world is caught in its grip. The broadcast warns anyone listening to find a safe place immediately. The boy, alarmed, hears strange noises from the room upstairs. His heart races, but as he slowly investigates, he finds it was just a prank by his older sister, Abigail. They then go to their mother's room, where she's frantic. She calls her husband, a pilot, who tells his wife and children that the virus is spreading fast. He urges them not to wait for in at home and to flee the city immediately to find a safe location. He reassures his children that they will be safe with their mother. He shows them the lucky bracelet on his wrist, which Abigail had made for him, making her happy. The mother quickly gathers supplies, but the sound of screaming outside forces them to rush out of the house. As they are about to get into the car, a zombie suddenly attacks the mother. Petrified, Abigail hides under the car, watching in horror as her younger brother and mother are killed by the zombies. The zombies don't notice the little girl and move away. Trembling with fear, the girl then sees her own mother convert into a zombie. Before her mother can attack, an uncle-like figure arrives, like an angel, kills the zombie mother, and saves Abigail. A short while later, they see Abigail's little brother also turning. The man tells Abigail to cover her ears, and then shoots her infected brother. 10 years later, a world of 2. The scene shifts 10 years later. Human civilization has been completely destroyed by the zombie virus. Once bright cities are now desolate, and nearly all humans are either dead or wandering as zombies. Only 2 people remain alive. Abigail, the little girl saved by the man, is now grown up. She has been raised and trained by Uncle Jaiku, to fight the zombies. If not for Jack, she would have died years ago, and she now considers him her father. Living alone in the jungle for so long, Abigail feels intensely lonely. Her greatest wish is to find a human settlement where she can live with other people. Jack, however, dislikes the idea of being among crowds. One night, as they camp in the jungle, Jack is woken up by a noise. He slowly steps out of the camp, only for a zombie to attack him. Jack quickly shoots it dead, and Abigail joins him. Having hunted zombies for a decade, they know zombies stick together in hordes. Realizing more must be nearby, they quickly pack up and ride away on their horses. On the road, their horses begin to whinny, signaling danger. They look around and spot a jeep surrounded by zombies in the distance, with a normal human trying to defend himself. Since so few humans are left, they know they must save the man. Jack, wanting to test Abigail's shooting skills, tells her to save him to see if her training is complete. He advises her to be calm, aim carefully, and shoot. However, Abigail rushes the shot, hitting the survivor as well as the zombie. Jack is furious. They approach the man and realize he cannot be saved. Jack kills him himself to prevent him from turning if he was bitten by a zombie. They then take all necessary supplies from the dead man's car. Jack puts on the man's boots. Just as he does, the dead man's armed companions arrive and surround them. Seeing the boots on Jack's feet, they suspect Jack and Abigail killed their partner to loot him. As the armed group prepares to kill them, a pregnant lady gets out of a car and tells her companions to leave them alone. Suddenly, the horses whinny again, and loud noises erupt from the nearby forest. A huge swarm of zombies, like a storm, rushes toward them from all directions. They have no time to flee, so they draw their weapons and fight. Despite having weapons, the zombies' numbers are overwhelming, and the group's members are quickly killed off one by one. Left with no hiding place, the survivors are quickly reduced to a handful. One strong man is bitten and tries to shoot himself but runs out of bullets. Realizing they cannot win, Abigail puts the pregnant woman, Majin, into the car, where her husband David is already waiting. Jack starts the car and quickly drives away. Out of the whole group, only these four survived. A black-faced zombie leader is furious to see his companions killed. As the four drive away, Jack asks Megan who they are and what they were doing there. Megan reveals they were headed for a place called Shiptown, a safe human settlement with all necessary facilities where they hope to live a normal life. Abigail is thrilled, as this is the place she's always wanted to go. Jack is skeptical, claiming to have wandered for 10 years and never seen such a colony. Suddenly, the car breaks down. David, who is a mechanic, gets out and attempts to fix it, but fails due to a lack of tools. They are forced to abandon the car and continue on foot. After walking several kilometers, they arrive at an abandoned society with tall buildings, where a deadly silence reigns. After thoroughly checking the place for any threats, they decide to spend the night there, a glimmer of hope and an uneasy separation. That night, they cook food over a fire. Abigail, eager to know more about Shiptown, talks to Megan. Megan tells her they had established radio contact with the people there. It's a beautiful, safe place where they can live freely. Abigail's eyes light up with hope. Meanwhile, Jack sets up traps all around the perimeter to alert them to any danger while they sleep. Back inside, Jack pulls out a map and explains that he will escort Megan and David for a short distance, and then they will separate. Abigail is unhappy with this decision. She argues that David won't be able to safely get his pregnant wife there, and they should all go together. Jack insists on being smart, saying where there are more people, there is more danger. Angry, Abigail walks away. They are unaware that the black-faced zombie leader has tracked their abandoned car and is heading their way. The next morning, Abigail is sitting on a roof looking at old childhood photos when she hears a rustling sound from the trees below. Realizing zombies are inside, she rushes down to warn everyone, but a zombie pursues her. She defends herself, climbing the stairs and knocking the zombie down, but loses her balance and almost falls. Jack arrives just in time to save her. Soon after, the black-faced zombie leader and his horde arrive at their previous night's camp, having followed the trail. Many zombies are killed by the traps Jack had laid out. Hearing the explosions, Jack realizes the horde has reached their old campsite and is still pursuing them. Thankfully, they had already moved on. On the road, Abigail remembers a small airport nearby where her father used to work. She suggests they might find a plane there to easily reach Shiptown. Jack objects, calling the airport an open space where they could be surrounded with no escape, and doubts they'll find a plane. However, due to Abigail's repeated pleading, he agrees. They reach the airport, but there are no planes. Jack is proven right. However, when they open a small garage door, they are lucky to find a small airplane. They are ecstatic, as their journey to Shiptown is now much simpler. Since the plane hasn't been used in a long time, David the mechanic says it needs fixing, which he estimates will take only 10 to 15 minutes. While David works, Jack and Abigail search the airport for useful supplies. David, looking through binoculars, sees a large horde of zombies approaching fast. They rush back and warn Jack and Abigail that they must start the plane immediately. Abigail quickly takes the pilot seat. Her father was a pilot, and she had learned a little about controlling a plane from him. Jack tries to hold the zombies off by shooting them. Abigail manages to start the engine, but it is too late. The zombies reach the runway. They are so fast that one zombie even reaches the airplane door, but Jack shoots it, freeing the plane. Abigail quickly gains control of the aircraft, and they take off. Crash landing and a difficult choice. Everyone on the plane is happy, believing they'll soon reach Shiptown. However, the joy is short-lived. As they fly, smoke starts pouring from the engine, which hadn't been used in a decade. The engine explodes, and the plane begins to plummet. Jack, thinking quickly, manages a crash landing into a tree, saving their lives, though they sustain minor injuries. The plane is now useless, forcing them to continue on foot again. After a long walk, they reach a deserted railway station at night. After checking the area and finding no zombies, they decide to spend the night. Looking at the map, they realize they are now only 2 days away from Shiptown. Megan approaches Jack and thanks him, saying they would never have made it this far without him. Jack is moved by Megan's compassion and shares his own story. 10 years ago, When the virus began, he had to kill his own wife because she was coming to bite him. Since then, the human part of him has died. Now Abigail is the only person he has, and he will keep her alive at any cost. Jack also tells Megan that he has changed his mind and will now get her to Shiptown first. Megan is overjoyed. Meanwhile, David is seen trying to shoot himself. A zombie had bitten his leg, but the wound was small, slowing the rate of infection. He had decided he would get his wife to Shiptown and then distance himself. The next morning, the four continue their journey. Jack notices David's strange behavior and realizes he's infected. He separates him from his wife and Abigail and inspects his leg, confirming the zombie bite. Jack asks him if he wants to kill himself or if Jack should do it. David promises he will not harm anyone and will kill himself if it comes to it. Jack decides to let him go. The scientist and the experiment. Night falls and they spot a house. As Jack moves forward with his gun raised, a bright light shines on them, and a voice over a speaker commands them to drop their weapons or be shot. Realizing it's a human, Abigail steps forward, explaining they mean no harm and only need help. The owner of the house emerges and offers them food and shelter, but only if they leave their weapons outside. Once disarmed, the man, a scientist, welcomes them in. He explains he lives alone and conducts research in this remote area. He provides them with an amazing meal, food they hadn't eaten in a long time, and they devour it. After the meal, he offers them drinks. Everyone is happy to finally relax and talk. But the scientist's conversation takes an unsettling turn. He talks about the virus, calling it a bad thing, but also a way for humans to upgrade. He claims that the weak will perish and the strong will survive as zombies, eventually ruling the world as they are only driven by hunger, not progress. The four are disturbed. David suddenly feels very unwell and goes to the bathroom, where he sees in the mirror that the virus has spread throughout his body. Returning to the hall, he finds Jack and the others unconscious. The scientist had drugged the drinks. David attacks the scientist, who presses a button on a device he is holding. David instantly feels weak and collapses. The scientist explains he spent years building the device, which allows him to move freely anywhere in the world and prevents zombies from harming him. He has developed a device that can control the zombies, allowing him to become the ruler of the world, commanding everyone. David loses consciousness. When he wakes up, he and his companions are tied up. The scientist is about to experiment on them. The scientist then asks if they want to meet his wife. He reveals his wife is a zombie whom he keeps caged, feeding her the humans he captures. He created the control device by experimenting on her. When the scientist opens the cage, his zombie wife immediately attacks him, but he controls her and sends her toward the four captives. She attacks Jack, who kicks her back. Meanwhile, David, powered by the virus, breaks his ropes and frees his companions. The scientist, sensing danger, quickly flees. The four gather their things and rush out of the house. Luckily, they find the scientist's car and drive into the forest. The scientist, however, is not giving up. He uses his device to control a horde of zombies to chase them. Jack speeds up, leaving the zombies behind, but the road is blocked. They have no choice but to continue on foot. After walking a short distance, the zombies catch up. David knows his time is running out and he will soon turn. He tells the others to go ahead while he stays back to hold off the zombies. His wife tries to stop him, but David tells her she must stay alive for their child. He then bravely confronts the zombies, fighting them off long enough for his companions to get far away. Finally, a zombie attacks and kills David. Shiptown and the final confrontation. Jack carries Megan and moves forward. They finally reach the human settlement area. Abigail shouts for help, as a large number of zombies are following them. Two guards on a tower spot them and start shooting the zombies with a sniper rifle, providing cover. Soon, a boat is sent for them and the three enter Shiptown. The black-faced zombie leader stops his horde, as they cannot cross the water. Megan is immediately taken for delivery, as she needs urgent medical care. Thankfully, Shiptown has doctors and hospital facilities. The next morning, we see that the town is made of several large ships connected together, surrounded by water. Jack tells Abigail they should leave, but Abigail has decided to stay. She is enjoying being around people so much. They argue. A doctor then arrives and tells them Megan has given birth to a daughter, but due to heavy blood loss, she might not live much longer. Jack is saddened. He goes to the hospital room. A very weak Megan asks Jack to take her baby, wishing for her to grow up like Abigail. Jack is reminded of his dead wife and agrees to take care of Megan's daughter. Betrayal and resolution. Abigail is enjoying herself with a handsome one man, relishing the fact that so many people are drinking and dancing to beautiful music. Her resolve to stay solidifies. She then sees the handsome young man sneak into a cabin. She follows him and finds the cabin is full of wires and bombs. A wireless switch is hanging there. As she touches it, the young man rushes over, explaining they have planted bombs under Shiptown. If the place is ever in danger, the people will flee and the town will be blown up from the outside. They have no idea this day will come so soon. The crazed scientist arrives. He's furious that they've killed so many of the zombies he intended to use to rule the world. He uses his control device to take command of the black-faced zombie king. With the scientist's help, the water below Shiptown is no longer a defense. Many zombies climb onto the ships from underwater and launch a sudden attack, killing many people. Chaos erupts. Jack learns of the attack and worriedly searches for Abigail. He fights off zombies and finally finds her. The mad scientist also reaches the ship and punches Abigail, knocking her down. Seeing this, an enraged Jack charges the scientist, but a zombie intervenes, pushing Jack into a tank. The scientist follows Jack, wanting revenge. He kicks Jack down, but Jack knows fighting him is futile. Instead, he attacks the scientist, smashing the control device on his wrist against a wall. With the device broken, the scientist loses his power to control the zombies and is quickly killed by the zombies. Fortunately, the camp already had an escape route. Many survivors flee through a tunnel to the other side of the river. As they prepare to detonate the bombs, the handsome young man hesitates because Abigail is still on the ship. Jack and Abigail are now running outside. The zombie king grabs Abigail from behind. Jack quickly hits the zombie with a piece of wood, knocking him back. Abigail sees the lucky bracelet on the zombie king's wrist. It's the one she made for her father in her childhood. She realizes the zombie king is her father. Jack forcibly pulls her hand, urging her to run. Seeing them flee, the handsome young man immediately presses the wireless remote button, and the entire ship town explodes in flames. The fight isn't over. The camp leader grabs his neck, having been bitten by the black-faced zombie king before the virus spread completely. To everyone's surprise, the zombie king also survived the explosion. Jack immediately rushes to fight the zombie king, but Jack is weaker. Abigail picks up a gun. Knowing the zombie king is her father, but seeing him trying to kill Jack, who raised her, Abigail shoots the black-faced zombie king without hesitation. She realized that if she hadn't shot him, he would have killed everyone there. Jack and Abigail embrace. Jack, Abigail, and the remaining survivors look out at a distant, deserted island in the sea. They decide to establish a new human settlement there. The story ends here.